Hello volunteers and thank you. Today we're going to teach you a little bit about meal delivery at Mobile Meals of Southern Arizona. The first thing we're going to cover today is picking up the meals, where to go and what to look for. So at each pickup location you will find a delivery list, and the list contains the client's name, address, and phone numbers. There are any delivery notes and instructions, and also a meal count. We'll go over all this here more in detail. There'll also be meal trays, at least one for each delivery or each client. And each tray contains 2 meals, a lunch and dinner, and there'll also be a meal slip inserted inside. There'll also be with each meal tray a delivery bag, and the delivery bags are for packing and transporting meals once you reach the client's residence. And then finally the meal slips, and these are what are inserted inside of each meal tray, and they have the client name so you know which meal goes to which client, and the name is usually at the bottom of the tray so it sticks out of and it's visible for you to see. For food safety, we ask that you leave the food inside of the tray for temperature control until you get to the client's residence, and then once you get to the client's residence you can pack the food inside of the delivery bag. The meals when you pick up will be presented as such. They'll usually be stacked on a black cart or some kind of a cart with the delivery list, the meals for that route, and the delivery slips or meal slips inserted into each one. This is a typical loading dock at one of our hospitals, and it'll look like this when you pull up to it. And can you see the meal trays that you're supposed to pick up? If you saw them back here, you are correct. So you'll have to kind of look around a little bit, but they're usually out somewhere in the open where you can find them. At a few of our locations, you have to go down to the cafeteria or by the kitchen, and the meal trays will be stacked like this on a cart. You can use this cart to transport the meals to your vehicle, and then leave the cart just inside the front entrance. You'll usually see other carts there where other volunteers have picked them up. And then when you return, you can stack all the empty trays on this cart and then wheel it back to the pickup location. This is what a delivery list looks like, and when you get to the hospital, the first thing you'll want to do is look for your route, whatever route you've been assigned, and then confirm that you have the correct route. Next, you're going to look at the client names. You're going to review the client status, and you'll notice in the client status that Brad Pitt is temporarily inactive. That means that for this week, he will not be, or at least until he's activated again, he will not be receiving meals. Then you have the delivery days over here, and the delivery days show the day of the week and then the meal count that should be delivered that day. And you'll notice that by most of these it says 2, which means they should get 1 tray because each tray contains 2 meals, a lunch and a dinner. We'll notice that on Monday, Tom Hanks is receiving 2 meals, which again is 1 tray with lunch and dinner. And you'll also notice that Leonardo DiCaprio here is not receiving any meals on Wednesday. So a 0 means there's no meals for that day, and that could just mean he has an appointment or he's out of the house for whatever reason. So on a Monday, even though we have 10 people on our list, we would only have 9 trays or 9 meals to be delivered. We have the top 2 here, nothing goes to Brad Pitt, and then the rest all receive meals on Monday. They all have a 2. So then my question to you is, right now, pause the video and review the list and tell me how many trays should be delivered on Wednesday. When you've finished, go ahead and resume the video. If you said 8, you are correct. Remember, Brad Pitt is temporarily inactive, and Leonardo DiCaprio on Wednesday does not receive any meals. When you arrive at the hospital, it'll look like something like this. And so you'll grab your list, you'll start to review the deliveries that should be made. Or as you check the list before you leave the hospital so that you don't forget anything or you make sure there's no mistakes. First, make sure you have the right route that's assigned to you. Then you're going to check the client names. You're going to look at the client status, make sure they're active and not inactive. Then you're going to check the delivery days. So we check this list to make sure that everyone is ensured a meal that's supposed to receive one. So as we go down the list, we'll check Tom Hanks, we'll check Jennifer Lopez. We'll notice that again, Brad Pitt is inactive, so there is no meal for him. Then we see Beyonce Knowles, Leonardo DiCaprio, Angelina Jolie, Dwayne Johnson, Scarlett Johansson, Robert Downey Jr., and Emma Watson. We're all supposed to receive meals that day, and we have the 9 meals that we're supposed to. So we're ready to go. We can pack these trays into our car and make sure we take a few things with us. So when you pick up the meal trays, confirm the following. You have all the meals to be delivered. You have a delivery bag for each meal, and you have the delivery list for your assigned route. And make sure you take that list with you so you have the addresses with you, have all the delivery notes in case something happens or there's special instructions or you need to call a client. When you return the meal, so in other words, you're done with your deliveries and now it's time to return the meal trays, make sure that you have all the trays and that you return them to the pickup location and they're closed with the strap. Return them to the same place you picked them up from, and return the clipboard and delivery list as well. Some possible scenarios. So as you're out there, a number of things could happen. The 2 most common is you have too many meals. And if that happens, give an extra to a client or someone in need that you find as you're out there delivering. Talk with kitchen staff or call Mobile Meals if, one, you do not have enough meals. So maybe there's a meal missing that's supposed to be received, or you don't have enough bags. And we can try and work that out or call the kitchen staff and see what's going on. If anything else happens for any reason, please give Mobile Meals a call at 520-622-1600. Now, when you actually get to the client's home, and we're going to go over a little bit of how to package and review things there to make sure that they get the meals and everything looks presentable. All right, so let's say we get to Tom Hanks' home. The first thing I'm going to check is any kind of instructions. Then I'm also going to look to see if there's multiple drop-offs. Sometimes these people live in an apartment complex where we might have 2, 3, or more clients, and you may be delivering multiple meals to one address. If that happens, just double check so you don't have to make trips back and forth to your car. Look at the addresses. If you have 2 or 3, just pack them all up and take them at one time. All right, once you understand the instructions, you can transfer the meals to the delivery bag. So the tray will look something like this with the strap. You're going to undo the strap, and inside the tray will look something like this. So when you're transferring this food to the delivery bag, start with the heavier items first. I usually start with the entree and then the soup, and be careful with the soup because sometimes the lid can be a little loose and it can spill. Then around the soup or on top of the soup, I might put the milk, the juice, and the beverages to kind of weight it all down. Then fruit and vegetables, etc. After that, stack the lighter items on top, especially the sandwich, because the sandwich could smush, so you put it on top, salad dressings, and salad. Meal slip with the client's name. Be sure you put that inside the bag so you remember which bag goes to which client, especially if there's multiple stops at this address. And then anything else left in the tray, transfer that to the bag. The bag will look something like this, and you're ready to deliver to the client. So grab the bag, go off to the client, and deliver sunshine to somebody in need. Again, possible scenarios that might come up if you can't find an address or the client is not home. First, read the delivery notes. Sometimes there's special instructions on the delivery notes. Then call the client and hopefully they'll answer and they can tell you, oh, I live back here, or this is me, or they'll come out and get the food. This is especially important if they have a dog in the yard and you don't want to encounter the dog. Call the client and have them come out. If that doesn't work, call Mobile Meals and we can reach out to our contacts. And important, do not leave the meals at the door unless you've talked with the client. So, if the client's not there and you just leave the door, the food is going to spoil, and we don't want anybody to risk food poisoning or anything else. So, but sometimes the clients are inside and they'll just yell, please leave at the door. Then that's fine as long as you've made contact with the client and they understand what's going on. Again, if anything comes up and you have or need any help, please call Mobile Meals at 520-622-1600. All right, when done, return all the trays, clipboard, and delivery list to the pickup location. Call Mobile Meals if there was anything of note. A client asked a question that you weren't sure of, or a client wasn't home and you weren't unable to reach them. Then we will try to contact them or reach out to their next of kin to make sure everything's okay and that the client's being taken care of. And then finally, just know that you did it. You made a difference in someone's life today, and someone in need who is struggling, and you made sure that they had security and independence and the food they need and a warm smile. And we appreciate your effort. We're so grateful for everything that you're doing for us. and have a wonderful, wonderful week.